This gospel train is chugging the train, it's chugging the train. This gospel train is chugging the train, chugging to the glory land. Get on board this gospel train, yes you can, yes you can. Get on board this gospel train, yes you can, yes you can. Yes, Chesley, we can get on this gospel train. Just ask Jesus to come into your heart. That's right, Chesley. We ask him to come in and take charge of our life, and we just want to follow him and study his word. Study his word, which is the Bible, God's holy word. You know, that tells you good things, lots of good stories in there. Chesley, there are lots of wonderful stories. You know, the Lord wanted us to know truth, and so he gave us his word, the word of God, we call the Bible, and it is so good that we have that today. And we always have a story straight from God's word, and this one today is from Matthew chapter 11, verse 15. This chapter 15, verses 21 through 28. It's Matthew 15, 21 through 28, right? That's right, Chesley. And we're going to begin reading here, telling about a situation that was really serious. I tell you, this was a little one that she had some trouble. Yes, this little mother, she had a serious situation, and she had heard about Jesus. Oh, I tell you what, he was kind of iffy. No, it did look very iffy, and the disciples, they weren't acting like they wanted to help. But do you want to hear me sing? Well, Chelsea, you already did sing. You sang one verse of that, and so that'll work. So let's just do that and go. And I just wonder if Kai and Laura's watching. I don't know if Kai and Laura are watching or not. I don't see their names up right now. Nobody's name is showing up right now. But they may be on before it's over. And Chesley, other people, they watch later on. We go ahead and we upload this to Rumble, to Twitter, now called X, and also up to YouTube. So others will see it here and maybe later times. And they going to contact me? Well, they may leave a message, and I'll be sure and let you know. And I'm so glad to get out of that trunk, because I tell you what, I was getting kind of scared. Well, why were you getting scared? I heard some thunder. You heard thunder. Well, don't worry about thunder. That's a normal thing this time of year. But are we scared? Are we safe? Oh, we're safe, Chesley. And if a storm comes up, we have a cellar we can go to. So, but right now, Chesley, there are no storms, and so we get to tell this story. We get to tell this story. The mother who would not give up. And the Bible tells us, and it said this: Jesus left Galilee and he headed up north to the region called Tyre and Sidon. And isn't that close to here? Oh no, Chesley, this is in another country. This is over in the Middle Eastern countries. A Gentile woman, and what's going to then? Well, Chesley, there was the Jews and the Gentiles, and the Jews had no use for the Gentiles. No, what was the deal? Well, Chesley, they just didn't feel like they was good enough, and Jesus didn't feel that way, but they did, and so they would mistreat them. In fact, they didn't even want to go through their town. They wouldn't even. Sometimes they didn't want to go through that town at all. You know what they do? You just go around and fly over it. Well, they didn't fly over it. They didn't have airplanes back then, but they would walk around it, and it would be taking a lot longer. Even though it took longer, Chesley, they had such ill will toward these people, and did they hate it? Some of them had hatred, and they certainly didn't think that the Lord had any use for these people. But Chesley, we're going to find out how the Lord tested this woman. Why would he do that, Chesley? Anytime he sends a test, he wants to show himself strong and how much he loves and what he can do. He's always not being mean. He's not being mean. Sometimes we feel like when he doesn't answer a prayer immediately that he's being mean. He's not being mean. But Chesley, let's hear this now. This woman, she came, Jesus had left Galilee north to the region of Tyre and Sidon, and this Gentile woman who lived there came to him, pleading with him. And then what was the deal? She said, "Have mercy on me, O Lord, Son of David, for my daughter is possessed by a demon that torments her awfully bad." Yes, Chesley, a demon. And she was very, very concerned. She needs some help. But so, Chesley, I think that she had heard about Jesus. She had heard. I think she heard he could do miracles. I think she heard that he healed the sick. But Chesley, here, this is the case. It's something different. Her daughter, she said, is possessed by a demon. Jesus could do that. Jesus, he could cast out the demons. You're right, Chesley, he could. But the Bible said, and this seems a shocking thing, but let's wait and see. It seems like Jesus was rude. No, he shouldn't do that, Chesley. Sometimes it seems that way to us. But let's see where it says Jesus gave her no reply, not even a word. Then his disciples came to him and they said to him, "Master, please tell her to go away. She's bothering us with all her begging." She keeps asking because she has a serious need. And it's not just her, it's her daughter. That's right, Chesley. It wasn't just her. Chesley, there is a principle we have with God dealing with him is to ask
and seek and knock. And here she had asked, and the Bible tells how that then Jesus said he didn't answer her, and that just seemed so wrong. Like he didn't even answer her, and that was an awful thing. But Jesus gave her no reply, not even a word. Then the disciples urged him to send her away. Tell her to go away. She's bothering us. She keeps begging. Yeah, I tell you what, Jesus was watching and listening all the time. Jesus was what, Chesley, that's right. Jesus was watching and listening all of the time. Was this lady just going to give up and just say, I'm just going to quit? Chesley, she had a serious need, not her herself, but it was her daughter. And so it was like she was the one that her daughter had to help her, because her daughter couldn't. She had this demon that was bothering her and just absolutely tormenting her severely. And Jesus said to the woman, well, you're a Gentile, and I was just sent, just to the Jews. But she came and she worshiped him. No, she didn't lash out and tell him he was mean and hateful. She didn't say that. And she realized that she was considered just like lower than a dog. Little dogs are sweet. Well, Chesley, here in in America, we have many dog lovers. But maybe over there, they didn't see dogs like that. Dogs were maybe just in the way. But Chesley, she was treated like, and that's how they would treat them sometime. But this woman, she came and she worshiped the Lord. She worshiped him because she heard it. She'd heard of the miracles. I believe for sure she'd heard of miracles that he had actually cast the devils out of people. He had healed the sick. She'd heard all these things. And so she goes and she loved him without maybe have never seen him before, but now she saw him and she still worshiped him. She came and worshiped and pleading again, Lord, help me. But Jesus responded, it isn't right to take the thing that's for the children and for my own people. I'm supposed to give them the gospel. And said, and they were considered, these people that were Gentiles were considered just like they were lower than dogs. And the dogs are good. But Chesley, what, the dogs there, they were really they didn't really care for dogs like we do, from what I understand. In fact, when they would, instead of using napkins like we have at a table to take care of their fingers, they get something on their hands or fingers, what they would do, they had little pieces of bread. And so they would have this bread, and that's what they would dab their fingers in, and then they would throw them under the table, and that's what the dogs would eat those. Well, it didn't sound very good. Well, Chesley, maybe it didn't, but they said, well, what she said, but Lord, help. He said, I was sent to help my people, the people of Israel. But she came and worshiped him, pleading again, Lord, help me. And it was for the sake of her daughter. Jesus responded, it isn't right to take, the bread, Jesus was like the bread of life, and give it to the dogs. Now, he wasn't insulting her, but he knew how the people all felt. And you know what? She replied, the Bible here was asked, she was seeking, and she'd been seeking and asking, and she couldn't get anywhere with him or the disciples. And she kept coming knocking. Victory came, and her daughter was delivered when she said, well, that's true, Lord. But she said, even the dogs are allowed to eat the scraps that fall beneath the master's table. Oh, and I say, Jesus just couldn't resist it. You couldn't resist that kind of faith. He just couldn't. You're right. He couldn't resist that kind of faith. When this woman, he said, lady, ma'am, your faith is great. Your request is granted. And where's the girl? Well, Chesley, her daughter wasn't there, but she apparently was at home. Didn't mention her having her there. She was instantly healed, instantly delivered and set free. No, I tell you what, and it's a good one. It seemed like a damn thing. It did seem bad. Like Jesus was being mean to her. That wasn't he. You know what? He was teaching a principle, and that's what he had said earlier. What he was going to show them, that it's not enough just to ask one time sometime. Some people may feel like, well, it's not faith if you ask more than once. You know what? The Bible doesn't really back that up. In fact, he was telling here earlier, in fact, in another one of the Gospels, how he wanted to teach them that sometimes you have to ask more than once. You have to show that you're really sincere. You show that you are sincere, that you won't give up, that your faith, I know what it is, but faith is in God and nothing else. Faith is in God and nothing else. No one else could help her. She had heard the truth, so she came down. The time was going to be coming when the Gentiles would be accepted, and they were. And Jesus, just right then and there, he granted her request. And then other Gentiles came. Chesley, there's other times when Gentiles he did heal, and the Jews would say that was just horrible. Why, these people, they felt like they were just awful. But Jesus let them know that he loved everybody. Jesus loves the little children, all the children of the world. Chesley, we are all the children of God. He loves us, and some people accept him and some reject him. But he wants everybody to come, and we need to know from this story, when we have something of serious need, we need to come to Jesus and keep asking. And maybe if he doesn't answer the first time, sometimes we aren't really serious, and a person never asks again. They say, well, I'm just not going to be begging. It's not begging. Just what some people may think, but it's showing that we are really sincere and we believe that Jesus will do it. We believe he is able. And is he willing? Is he willing? Chesley, he knows what is best for us, and I'm so glad that he doesn't grant things that we might think are best for us, but they're not. And he does know this. He does know best, Chesley. So she respectfully, again and again, kept showing her faith and trust. She didn't just walk away and say, well, I guess I just don't have faith. She just kept asking, because of that daughter. It was the daughter. It wasn't just all about her, but she was responsible for her daughter. And she said, I know this Jesus can do it. Because she no doubt had heard the stories. He'd healed people of leprosy, and he'd cast demons out of people. He was just, he made blind people see. The blind people could see. The deaf could hear. She'd heard all of this, and Jesus could do this for her if she would show her seriousness. But Chesley, remember, I think she was polite. She was polite. She was polite and courteous. She didn't start ranting and raving and cursing and swearing at Jesus. Some people will do that, but she didn't. She was respectful and just spoke the truth, and God met her need. So what can we learn from this? We can learn from this that if there's a serious need that we have, something we really need, or maybe there can be a desire, something that you really may not really need, but something you'd like to have, you would appreciate, we can talk to the Lord about that. And Chesley, especially in situations when it's a serious need, we need to just keep asking, keep seeking and knocking, as they say, keep showing respect and love and worship to the Master. Chesley, let's just let him answer the prayers. She respectfully again and again kept showing her faith. She'd known of these other healings, and she just knew that Jesus would help her. It made no difference to Jesus. And what did the disciples say? No, I tell you now, they learned a lesson. They did learn a lesson. They've been saying, Jesus, when Jesus didn't answer her at first, they said, Jesus, make her go away, because she's keep coming to us now. Why did she go to him? Because she was these people were the disciples, and she thought that maybe, she thought they can get to him. They could get to him and say, listen, and that's what they did. They said, you got to do something. This lady just won't let go. Chesley, she had faith. Her faith and trust was in God. It wasn't in just keeping asking. It was that Jesus was the answer. And so that's what we keep trusting in. We keep trusting in the Lord, praying, believing, and honoring him. He loves that when he sees our faith. If it's something we're serious about, but if we just ask one time and we never ask again, just forget it, because, well, you weren't serious in the first place. You just let him know we're serious about our needs, serious about real needs like this. Like in school, if you're having trouble with a subject, that's right, even in school, when you're having trouble with a subject that you need help with, you can pray and ask the Lord to help us, and ask the teacher to help you, or somebody that will be able to help. God will help us. He has an answer for us. But right now, Chesley, we need to realize this. No matter if we're rich or poor, it doesn't matter if we're famous or not. It doesn't matter. It's anybody. All over the world, Jesus is watching. That's right. All over the world, he's watching and he's listening. He's listening when we pray. So, Chesley, let's know that he loves us. Remember this mother who wouldn't give up, and God met her need. You know something? If she had just quit after the first time and just said, forget it, it wouldn't have happened. That's right. If she had said, well, he said no. Disciples said no, so I don't have any help. I can just have my daughter just going to be bound by this old evil spirit. But no, she wouldn't let go. She kept praying and believing. And I think you're kind of stalling. You guessed it. Yeah, I guessed it. And now it's time for you to go to bed. You tell everybody goodbye, and you look forward to seeing them next Sunday afternoon. And that will be Easter Sunday. And Chesley, are you going to tell an Easter story? I don't think so. You don't think so? Well, why not? Well, they little heard it in their Sunday school class, and I got something different. Oh, you got something different. Okay, well, that'll be all right. But right now, you need to go to bed, though. And I got to go to bed, and I don't want to, and I'm not sleepy, and I maybe it's going to storm. Chesley, whether it storms or not, you're going to be safe in your trunk. You're still stalling. All right, we'll see y'all next Sunday afternoon, the Lord willing. You have a great rest of the day, okay?